to be that we are recording. Sorry, Ed. Hopefully you get moved soon. Yesterday, I sent out an agenda to everybody. That's not, I mean, I'm not usually a big agenda person, but it seemed like a good thing to do for the first meeting. So what I first thought I would do is everybody will go around and introduce ourselves. I'll start. For those that don't know me, I'm K.O. Berger. I have a lot of experience doing juvenile delinquency work. I also did some capital work back when we had capital defenders. And now I'm a resource counsel here at OPDC. Jeff, why don't you start us off? And I'm going to be listening, but trying to get Ed to his right group.
Okay. I'm Jeff Jorgensen. I do delinquency and dependency as part of the consortium in Marion. And so I've been doing that for a couple of years. And before that, I did adult criminal as part of the consortium out of Marion.
And Deanna?
Okay. Hi, I am Deanna Horn. I do juvenile delinquency and dependency stuff in Clackamas County as part of that consortia. I also do I do that half time, and then I take build cases kind of around the state. Before that, I was with Metropolitan Public Defender's Office in Portland, and I was there for almost 16 years and did everything at one time or another.
Hi, Nora. I'm just going by how people are on my screen, just to let you know.
Hi, I'm Nora Van Duzen. I'm an attorney in Portland at Levy Marathew Horst, and I do delinquency work, some adult criminal work, and some civil rights work now. But I was a public defender for about 15 years before that, doing primarily delinquency and adult criminal.
And Robert.
Hello, I'm Robert Brandel. I'm with the consortia in Marion County as well as with Jeff, doing delinquency and dependency. I've been doing that for about a year and a half, and I did about a year and a half of adult public defense prior to that.
And Matthew?
Yeah, hi everybody, Matt Murphy. I'm currently doing delinquency and dependency work at Youth Rights and Justice in Portland. Before that, I was in Central Oregon for about 18 years, worked at the Bend Consortium, at the Kirk and Jefferson Consortium for about 4 years. I think 3 different stints at what's now Deschutes Defenders, formerly Crabtree and Ramsdorf. So adult criminal for over 20 years and juvenile and delinquency and dependency.
Great. Stacy? Hi, Stacy.
Hello, Stacy Lowe. I am the director at Southwestern Oregon Public Defender Services, and I represent juveniles and delinquency cases, and I do dependency work, parents and kids. I've been doing this work exclusively since 2018. Prior to that, I did a mix of criminal and juvenile work. And I started straight out of law school in 2005 here at the Public Defender's Office, and it's what I've been doing ever since.
Great. Tita?
Hi, everybody. Judah Larch and he, him pronouns. I'm an attorney out of Benton County. Can nobody hear me? Can you hear me, Liz?
You're a little soft.
You're a little tough.
How about now?
Better.
All right, we'll tilt the mic. I'm an attorney out of Benton County. I do exclusively juvenile dependency and delinquency work. I've been here for about 4 years. Before that, I cut my teeth down in Roseburg at the Public Defender's Office there, doing adult criminal and juvenile work.
Liz?
Hi, I'm Liz Wakefield. I'm at Metropolitan Public Defender in the PCAD unit, Parent-Child Advocacy Division. I started at MPD in 2001. I think I've done almost everything I can do here. Currently in PCAD, my caseload is delinquencies and dependency work.
Okay, and y'all moved around, of course, so I think Kevin's the only one left.
I think so as well. Kevin Ellis here. I feel like I've met almost everyone on this list in person. I recognize a lot of faces, and I recognize everyone's names. I've been doing, I'm at MPD, I work with Liz. I have primarily, I would say it's about a 70-30 split for dependency, delinquency. But delinquency has always been a very much at the forefront or primacy of cases that I really, really care about. Obviously, we care about all our cases and all of our clients, but there's something particularly special about representing teens and juveniles who are vis-a-vis the state.
I agree. And it looks like Ed got to where he needed to go. You know, Shannon gave us the timeline, the timeline and kind of what the general scope of the project is going to be. What I've been thinking, first for the qualification standards, I think what we'll do is kind of start at the beginning in terms of talking about what should be the qualification standards for somebody who's doing misdemeanor work, and then work up from there for the qualification, to qualify for additional cases. Our current qualification standards are really deficient in that, as you might have known, while we qualify people up for different cases, it's like it's kind of awkward because the cases that the structure we have didn't change when Measure 11 came into effect. And now, of course, kids are out of Measure 11, but we have the waiver qualifications. And quite honestly, the waiver qualifications was just Eric Dietrich. I wasn't working here, but Eric Dietrich contacted me and said, could you write some qualification standards for somebody to do waiver hearings? And I was like, okay. And I did, and they just adopted them, and they're kind of awkward in the qualification standard, and they don't really fit in the rest of the qualification standards. So I was figuring we'd start low and then work our way up. I don't think the qualification standards are going to take that long, but we do have a couple of questions that I think we're going to have to grapple with. One is the waiver situation. So my understanding is in a lot of jurisdictions, not every jurisdiction, but in a lot of jurisdictions, the state is saying things like, oh, we might waive this kid, but I'm not really sure. If you give us information, then we'll let you know. From the agency's point of view, we want people who are going to be qualified to handle those cases, but right now the number of attorneys that are qualified to handle waiver cases is much smaller than the attorneys who are qualified to handle major felony delinquency cases, which means that if we assign somebody with a waiver motion not filed and a waiver motion filed, we're then perhaps having to change attorneys or add an attorney into the defense team, which I think becomes really awkward for the team and the youth in terms of all of a sudden this new attorney joining. So I think we should have a discussion about how that would work and how we think that should work. And then the second one that I know of is the JPAR cases. That's the acronym the agency has given to the kids that are the juvenile post-adjudication relief. So it's post-adjudication, JPAR. That we have had the ability to have those types of cases for a long period of time. I think we're just now kind of developing that as an area of law. And we certainly need to figure out questions such as, if somebody's going to handle a post-adjudication relief case, do they have to be qualified to have handled the underlying trial? That sort of thing. So we want to do qualification standards that don't exist for the JPAR cases. The other question that we have had come up is on FAAs, in that, do you have the ability to consult with an attorney before they sign an FAA, and should that attorney be qualified to handle the underlying level of case, or can somebody who can't try a major felony case advise a use of whether they should sign an FAA or not? So I think we need to talk about that. Those are the kind of holes that I've seen. I'd be really interested in knowing what holes you all who are out in the trenches have seen, in terms of either seeing an attorney that perhaps shouldn't be qualified to handle the type of case, and yet we say yes they are, or the problems. I know we have significant problems with people getting qualified from misdemeanor up to lesser felonies, because right now we're requiring a certain number of trials, and trials don't happen, and so people get stuck at that level. So that's one thing that we certainly need to talk about, is alternative ways that we can get those folks qualified. So we don't have to talk about the holes now, but I would like y'all to start thinking about the holes. Then some of you have worked with me, some of you have not. I am usually overabundant in the resources that I give people. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for that, because we do have resources that I've been collecting. They're mostly performance standards from states around the nation, and also the different advocacy organizations. I have a folder of about 26 documents in them. Some of them are rather long. Sorry about that. I am not expecting you all to read all of those. I am providing them just because I think that you might want to thumb through it and see what other places are doing, especially when we start talking about the performance standards, I think, because most of those are performance standards. What are we going to want attorneys to be able to do? As you all may know, we have performance standards. The bar has established performance standards. They did it back in 2014. And they were kind of mushed with the criminal performance standards. It is our intention to have separate performance standards, criminal and delinquency. The Resource Council are going to be consulting with one another to make sure that it seems like it's equal, I guess. But, in 2014, while I think it's client-centered as much as it was in 2014, it's not as client-centered as probably we're going to want. So that's why I was including all this kind of additional information, because I'll probably be going through a lot of that stuff to see language that other states have used and that sort of thing when I'm drafting it. So I wanted you to have that. We don't have it available for you right now because we're sort of trying state agency bureaucracy. We're trying to see if we could use Dropbox for that, because otherwise the only other way we're going to have to be able to do it is to post those documents on our website and have you go and access it on our website. which I think even if we have Dropbox, we're going to have them on the website also, so the public can see what documents we're using for resources. But it seemed to us that that could get really clunky for people to try to use rather than Dropbox, which is a little probably easier for everybody to access. So we're trying to get the Dropbox access, and hopefully we'll know by later today or tomorrow how it's going to be, and we'll be sending you a link on where the documents are, and you can start seeing how obsessive I can be on stuff like this. But really, I don't expect y'all to be all this. Y'all got far too much work for that to happen. So there won't be tests. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? And then this is actually our entire group. Y'all are great. Y'all showed up today. So the first meeting, if we want to schedule it now, we can. I can tell you that my availability is going to be probably, I mean, I'm guessing, you know, the rest of this week is probably not available to you all. Next Wednesday through Friday, I'm out of the office, so that either puts us a week behind if we don't have a meeting next week, or if we try to work a meeting in next week, it will need to be Monday or Tuesday, and I know Monday is a holiday. So it's up to all of you. What I can do is we can talk about it now, or I can give you back the rest of your lunch hour and I can send out a doodle poll. I'm fine with either way, whichever you all think. It looks like Liz would like a doodle poll.
I disagree with Liz. I hate doodle polls.
Okay, good. We've got consensus here. Anybody else that?
I would love to get it scheduled now.
Okay.
FYI, I'm just neither here nor there. I am going to be in Mexico on a work investigation thing all next week.
Yeah, it will be a work investigation.
Mexico City, right, Nora?
Mexico City and its environs and factories.
Well, yeah. That's better than what I'm doing. I get to go to Scottsbluff, Nebraska. So
Melissa Riddell is currently thoroughly investigating Cancun, Mexico, which is why she's not in the dependency meeting today.
All right. So, Liz, I'm hearing that people would like to try to get it scheduled today.
Not a problem. Let's do it.
And with Nora's schedule, that's probably, we're looking at then, if she's gone all next week, we're probably looking at either the end of this week or the week of I believe it's the 18th, if my memory serves me correctly. And I don't think it's a problem with us waiting to the week of the 18th for our first meeting. That certainly will give you all a chance to read more of my resources that I've collected for all of you. But I mean, I don't think our timeline is really tight, but I don't think that would be a problem at the end, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Sorry, it was a late night last night. My brain isn't completely operating, as I'm sure it was for all of you too. So why don't we look, do you want to look at the week of the 18th, or is Friday something that you all could do?
I'm going to be out Thursday and Friday of this week because of the CDLA conference in Hawaii.
Oh.
Spending all Friday with Dr. Michelin.
What fun you all have. So let's look at Monday the 18th. How are folks, all of you returning from your various trips, look on Friday the 18th? I mean, Monday the 18th. I know that, is that
open except for 1 p.m.
It would just depend.
Okay. Is there a time that works for you, Liz?
I have something with a client and their GAL at 9 o'clock, and then I'm doing prelims in the afternoon. So, morning, but not 9 o'clock. So 10
Should we do
to 12 ish.
10:30ish? Would that work for folks?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it then. 10:30
Deanna's
on.
looks like she's has
I-
a response.
I would have to do part of it in my car because I have a client. I'm visiting a kid at 11:30. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
We could move it up to. Do you think you'd be finished by 10, Liz? I said 10:30 just because 9:30, 9 o'clock is tough.
well, I have
Yeah,
a
no.
delinquency. I have a delinquency review at 10.
Okay.
Does
you be finished by-
does the noon hour not work?
Noon? Works for
I mean,
me.
That's fine. I should be done at 1.
Okay. I don't think we'll take that long for the first one. So let's do it noon then, 10:18 at noon. I'll send out a link for everybody.
Okay.
And then I'll also send out probably a separate link on the where to get the resources, and on one of those I will include a copy of our current delinquency standards. They're on our website, but I can't even find them most of the time when I'm looking for them. So I'll just pull it out and just have that part of it. So you guys, we have that available and easily accessible. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
That's it. If there's any questions or in the future or any concerns or any thoughts, we can do it by email. I would just ask that everybody that we email everybody, because if you're just emailing me, then I have to make sure that I've emailed it to everybody else. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. And the last email that I sent out, mistakenly, I left Elizabeth off. So I will send the email today with the link that will be good, that will have everybody's email on, so you can just hit reply all to that if need be. But don't use one of the past emails because I left Liz off, unfortunately. Not on purpose, though. All right, anything else for anybody? Cool, go enjoy your lunches. I hope your days are better than last night, and take care. Bye.